All right, let's get right into it. Picture this. A new dawn is breaking, not just over the mountains, but for the human spirit itself. And out of this new light, a figure named Zarathustra comes down from years of solitude. He's carrying this incredible insight, a truth so bright he's sure it'll light up the whole world. And where does he take it? Straight to the heart of the action, the noisy, chaotic, everyday marketplace. This is where our story kicks off, a powerful parable about wisdom, rejection, and ultimately a huge transformation. And right here, we hit the central problem. Zarathustra shows up with a gift he calls the gold of the overman. I mean, it's the most precious thing he could possibly offer. But the crowd, they're not looking for treasure. They want a performance. They want to be entertained, not transformed. Their mouths are wide open, ready for the next spectacle, but their ears, their minds, they're completely shut off to the truth he's trying to share. It's this massive disconnect between a profound message and an audience that just wants a distraction. So this leads us to what you could call Zarathustra's first great failure. His gift wasn't actual gold. It was this incredible vision for what humanity could become. But the crowd just met it with a mockery and total confusion. And that was a deep, painful failure for him, one that made him question his whole mission. He came to give everything, only to find that nobody was willing to receive it. Now, at the heart of that failed gift is this idea of the overman. And it's so important to get this right. We're not talking about a comic book Superman here. The overman, or Ubermensch, is a goal. It represents a future where humanity has finally gotten over itself, overcome its own weaknesses, and started creating its own values. Zarathustra sees us right now as a rope stretched over a giant canyon, a dangerous bridge to something greater. The overman, well, that's the other side. Zarathustra quickly realizes that the marketplace isn't just a busy town square. It's a spiritual desert. It's a place where greatness isn't admired. It's actually feared. And in this desert, people aren't thirsty for the living water of wisdom. No, they're craving the stagnant, comfortable puddle of what he calls the last man. See, the people in the market, they didn't want the brilliance of the noon, as he put it. They just wanted a tiny, dim nightlight. They were literally begging for a life with no risks, no challenges, and because of that, no noble purpose. They chose being safe and predictable over the tough, sometimes painful journey of mastering themselves. They basically rejected Zarathustra's gift because taking it would have meant stepping outside their comfort zone. This really just lays it all out, doesn't it? The two paths on offer. On one side, you've got the overman, represented by lightning, powerful, dangerous, a force of creation. And on the other side, the last man, a flea, tiny, happy with its comfort, totally complacent. And when the crowd was given this choice, they actually explicitly asked to be turned into the flea. They chose the end of human aspiration over the difficult path forward. And this brings Zarathustra to a truly devastating realization. He came down from his mountain like a sower, ready to plant the seeds for this incredible future. But he found the ground was just barren rock. The masses, the herd, they aren't fertile soil for great world-changing ideas. They're a desert where those seeds just shrivel up and die. And this is the moment his initial hope completely shatters. But then, in the middle of all that noise and mediocrity, one person stands out, or, well, is suspended high above it all, the acrobat. This performer of all people becomes the unexpected key to Zarathustra's deeper understanding. He's a symbol of a completely different way to live. Just think about that image for a second. While the whole crowd is planted safely on the ground, mocking and jeering, the acrobat is all alone on that high wire. His entire life is defined by danger, by skill, by purpose. He's not looking for comfort. He's living an authentic life, risking everything for what he does. His very existence is a quiet challenge to the complacent crowd down below. Now, when the acrobat falls, Zarathustra doesn't just see a failed entertainer. He sees a brother. And as the man lies dying, Zarathustra whispers this profound truth to him. The acrobat's dangerous performance was amazing, sure, but the real meaning in life comes from the why. A life, no matter how busy or active, is spiritually dead if it doesn't have a driving purpose. And in that moment, Zarathustra honors the acrobat for having had one. So this tragic death becomes a moment of absolute clarity. The acrobat's fall acts like a mirror for Zarathustra. It shows him the truth, that a meaningful life requires active, dangerous shaping. It takes risk, and yeah, it might even end in tragedy. But it's real. It's an authentic life, something the safe, jeering crowd will never, ever understand. This whole encounter with the acrobat, well, it's the big turning point. The old mission is officially over.
Zarathustra gets it now. He can't be a shepherd to people who only want to stay sheep. This is the start of his new year of the spirit, a major shift from being a public teacher to a solitary seeker.
And so he makes a choice, a huge one. He physically and spiritually turns his back on the crowd. The text calls it a cold dawn, which is perfect. It's a harsh awakening, but it's crystal clear. He walks away from the empty noise of public opinion and chooses the quiet of solitude and a brand new, much harder path. We can really break his whole transformation down into these 3 stages. First, he starts as a shepherd, trying to guide the masses, and that mission fails. Big time. That failure forces him to become a breaker of tables, someone who has to smash the old, comfortable rules. And that leads him to his new purpose, to become a hunter, searching for the few, solitary, strong individuals who can actually hear his message.
So let's talk about this new mission. Zarathustra is done looking for followers to lead. He's now hunting for equals, for fellow creators. His goal is to lure these strong souls away from the herd and help build a new kind of nobility, one that's not based on your family or your money, but on the strength of your spirit.
So who are these creators he's looking for? Well, they're the kind of people who write their own rules on new tablets. They don't need applause from the marketplace. Their validation comes from the inside. Their purpose is forged in the fire of their own passions. And most importantly, they have the courage to look at all the chaos in the world and write their own meaning, their own story. And think about this final, powerful, symbolic act. Zarathustra carries the acrobat's body and places it in a hollow tree. He's literally laying a body to rest, of course, but what he's really doing is burying the corpse of his own past. He's abandoning that old, dead hope of ever teaching the masses. It's an act of letting go, of freeing himself from the weight of his failure. And from that moment, he emerges with a brand new identity, the hunter of souls. His job isn't to stand on a soapbox and preach anymore. Instead, he's become a catalyst, an active force that seeks out those rare individuals and helps spark their own potential for greatness. He's not giving them answers, he's helping the strong find their own. And so this ancient story of failure and transformation suddenly becomes a mirror for every one of us. The final question isn't for Zarathustra, it's for you. Are you just another voice in the marketplace, looking for comfort, looking for distraction, letting the noise define you? Or are you a creator, someone willing to walk a lonelier path, to risk a fall, but to live a life that's defined by your own purpose? The desert of the marketplace is still out there, and the high wire is too. The choice, well, that's yours.